Title: The Eyes of the Idol. I had always been drawn to haunted places. So during a weekend trip to Savannah, Georgia, I wandered off from the touristy spots and found a small, run-down museum on a quiet cobblestone street. The sign out front read, Savannah Society of Historical Anomalies. Inside, the air was stale and heavy. No music, no chatter, just the slow creaking of wooden floors under my sneakers. There were Civil War artifacts, old letters behind glass, and preserved dolls that seemed to watch me with cloudy eyes. But in the far corner of the museum, half hidden by a dusty velvet curtain, was a display case that looked different from the others. It held a single object, a small, burnt-looking idol about the size of a grapefruit. Carved from blackened wood, its face was wide-eyed and crude, and its mouth was twisted in an unnatural grin. A symbol was carved deep into its chest, 3 jagged lines slashed through a circle. The plaque underneath was barely legible. Unknown artifact, recovered 1897, found buried beneath remains of an unregistered gravesite just outside the city limits. Do not touch. As I leaned in to examine it, the lights overhead flickered. My breath fogged the glass, though the room was warm. I felt watched. Suddenly, the museum guide appeared beside me, silent and pale. "Some things don't like being disturbed," she said flatly before turning and walking away. I laughed it off. Savannah leans hard into ghost stories, after all. But when I flew back home to Houston, things didn't feel right. The first night, I had nightmares. In them, I was back in the museum, standing before the idol, but this time its eyes followed me. Its mouth moved. I couldn't hear what it said, but I woke up with a sharp pain in my chest, right where the symbol had been carved into the wood. A few days later, my electronics started to glitch. The TV turned on by itself. My lights would go out at exactly 3:03 a.m. every night. And the shadows, they started shifting in ways they shouldn't. I thought maybe I brought something back with me. I unpacked everything, carefully. I hadn't taken the idol, of course, but maybe I brushed against something, took a picture I shouldn't have. Then came the smell, charred wood and soil. It followed me through the house. One night I woke to a sound like scratching, not from the outside, but from inside the walls. I pressed my ear to the sheetrock and froze. There was whispering, faint, too faint to make out, except for 2 words that came through clear as glass. Look deeper. That same morning, I noticed something on my bedroom window, the same symbol from the idol, etched into the glass on the inside. I called the museum. The woman who answered barely waited for me to finish my question. "Destroy any photos you took," she snapped. "If you dreamed about it, it's attached to you. Do not ignore it. The last person who did..." The line went dead. That night I burned the photos, deleted them from my phone and laptop, said a prayer, slept with the lights on. But the knocking came again, and this time it didn't stop. I followed the sound to my attic. The air was freezing. My flashlight flickered as I climbed the steps, and at the top, just beyond the beam of light, stood a figure. Small, smoke-black skin, eyes carved deep, grinning wide. The idol. It stepped forward, but it wasn't moving, it was gliding. I screamed and fell backward down the attic steps. Everything went black. When I woke up, it was morning. Sunlight spilled through the window. The attic door was wide open, but the figure was gone. I thought maybe I'd imagined it until I looked in the mirror. Across my chest, 3 jagged scratches slashed through a bruised circular welt. Now I don't sleep. I keep every light on. I've moved twice. Nothing helps. Because at 3:03 a.m. every night, my lights still go out. The whispers start. The same phrase over and over. Look deeper. Last night, I finally gave in. I stood in front of my bathroom mirror and whispered the words back. and something looked back at me. Not my reflection. It smiled. Tonight, it's not waiting anymore. I just heard the front door open. I live alone.